The Train That Waited. Sora was a boy who lived by the tick of a second hand. His room was filled with clocks, round ones, square ones, and one that chirped like a cricket every hour. To Sora, being on time was the most important thing in the world. He had a schedule for breakfast, a schedule for homework, and most importantly, a schedule for the silver and green train that wound through the mountains of his Japanese village. Today was the most important Saturday of the year, the regional calligraphy competition in the city. Sora had practiced his brushstrokes for months. He stepped out of his house at exactly 8:12 a.m. The 8:30 a.m. train was never late, and neither was Sora. He walked down the narrow path, his wooden sandals clicking rhythmically against the stones. As he neared the stone bridge, Sora saw Mrs. Kiku. She was an elderly neighbor who grew the sweetest pears in the valley. Today, however, she looked distressed. 2 large, woven baskets filled with groceries had spilled across the path. Oranges were rolling toward the stream, and a heavy bag of rice lay precariously near the edge. Sora looked at his watch. 8:21 a.m. If he stopped to help, he might miss the train. If he missed the train, he would be disqualified from the competition. His heart hammered like a woodpecker against a tree. Mrs. Kiku tried to lift the rice bag, but her hands shook. Sora knew what his schedule said, but he also knew what his heart said. Sora set his bag down. "Let me help you, Mrs. Kiku," he said. He gathered the rolling oranges and lifted the heavy rice bag. He walked her all the way to her front gate, making sure every jar and fruit was safely inside. Mrs. Kiku smiled warmly and thanked him, but Sora was already turning to run. Sora ran as fast as his legs could carry him. The station came into view, a tiny wooden platform nestled against the hillside. He saw the silver and green nose of the train pulling into the station. The brakes hissed and the doors slid open. Sora was still 50 yards away, gasping for breath, his face red from the effort. By the time Sora reached the platform, the final chime had rung. Usually the doors would have hissed shut by now. But they remained open. Ichiro, the conductor, was standing by the door of the front carriage. He wasn't looking at his watch. He was looking straight at Sora with a calm, knowing expression. Sora scrambled onto the train just as the doors finally buzzed shut. He leaned against the cool plastic seat, trying to catch his breath. Ichiro walked down the aisle, checking the tickets. When he reached Sora, he didn't scold him for being late. Instead, he leaned down and spoke in a soft voice. "I saw you at the bridge from the cab window," Ichiro whispered. "The tracks follow a strict line, Sora, but life doesn't have to. A train can wait 5 minutes for a boy who stops to help his neighbor. Kindness is the only thing worth being late for." Sora looked at his watch, then back at the conductor, feeling a strange sense of peace. Sora arrived at the competition just in time. He didn't win the first prize, but he didn't mind. That evening, he sat at his desk and took out a fresh sheet of paper. He wrote a thank you note to Ichiro. Beside his new schedule for next week, Sora added a new rule in his neatest ink. Leave 10 minutes early for the unexpected. He called it his kindness buffer.